Okay, let's unpack this. We are diving into, well, a really high-stakes investigation. It's grabbed headlines everywhere, Hollywood, the internet, you name it. In this case, it's this fascinating and frankly pretty tragic collision. You've got celebrity culture, social media, and then just the grim reality of forensic science all mixed together. So our mission today is to look at the sources, analyze what they're telling us. They lay out these crucial details, the victim's identity, Celeste Rivas Hernandez, and then this cascade of circumstantial evidence, both physical and importantly digital evidence. And it all seems to point towards the owner of the car where she was found, the singer David Anthony Burke. D4VD. The whole story kicks off not somewhere glamorous, but in a pretty mundane place. Hollywood tow yard. Employees there, they called the police. They noticed this really powerful, almost chemical smell, a strong and foul odor, as the reports put it, coming from a vehicle. Police arrive, they search the car and find something truly shocking inside the frunk of this massive Tesla Cybertruck. Texas plates. It's the body of a young girl, badly concealed, wrapped in plastic, or maybe a bag.
And what's immediately critical here, you see, is how fast the vehicle itself connected everything, the modern reality of it. That Cybertruck was registered directly to David Anthony Burke. No ambiguity there. Sources say the truck had been abandoned up in the Hollywood Hills. Then it got towed. But investigators, they think the body might have been inside for maybe up to 5 days before it was even impounded. So boom, the discovery instantly puts this major music star right at the center of a homicide investigation.
Yeah, it's startlingly fast how that link was made.
Yeah.
And then when we shift focus from the car's owner to the victim, well, this story just becomes incredibly heartbreaking.
Absolutely. The LA County medical examiner formally identified her, 15-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez. And just to give that some context, she'd been missing for over a year. Reported missing April 5th, 2024. She was only 13 at the time. Vanished from Lake Elsinore, California.
13, wow. And the initial findings right at the scene, they immediately suggested what? Intentional violence, concealment.
That's right. The reporting describes the body as badly decomposed, which suggests it had been in that vehicle for quite a while. Potentially weeks, maybe even longer. It really depends on the conditions inside the truck, temperature and so on. And critically, the body was also reportedly dismembered. Now, the official cause of death is listed as deferred. That just means they're waiting on detailed forensic analysis. But make no mistake, the LAPD Robbery Homicide Division, they're treating this as a homicide investigation, period. The state of the body itself is, well, it's the first really big piece of evidence. It tells investigators this almost certainly wasn't random.
Okay. And before the body was moved, forensics noted some specific details, right? Things that help confirm it was Celeste.
Yeah, they did. She was described as 5'2", wavy hair, wearing a tube top, black leggings, had a yellow metal chain bracelet on. But for the investigators trying to build a profile, one detail really stood out, a very distinct tattoo on her right index finger. It read, "Sh." Just those 2 letters. And that tattoo, that's kind of the first major point where the physical evidence, the body itself, starts to link up directly with the celebrity owner of the car. Celeste's family, they provided that initial connection, sort of anecdotally. Her brother told reporters she disappeared after leaving home, supposedly to see a movie with David. And her mother, too, she voiced suspicion right away. She mentioned Celeste's boyfriend at the time was also named David, which adds a layer of confusion, maybe, but it reinforces that a David was definitely the person of interest when she went missing.
Okay, which brings us to this just incredible convergence of circumstantial evidence. Because that physical clue, that small Shao tattoo on Celeste, it's mirrored perfectly by the singer.
Exactly. David Anthony Burke also has the exact same tattoo. Same finger, right index finger. Now, to be fair, the sources do point out that this particular tattoo, it's actually kind of common among some celebrities. You hear names like Lindsay Lohan, Rihanna having similar ones. But in the context of this investigation, where the victim and the person whose car she's found in share this unique mark, it stops being just like a pop culture trend. It becomes really potent circumstantial evidence. Suggests a deep known connection between them.
A connection that just seems to get stronger when you move from the physical evidence to his digital footprint. Here's where it gets really interesting. Because the music, his whole public persona, seems like it might have been foreshadowing this relationship, maybe even this tragedy, for years.
Oh, the layers here are quite something. You look back at his 2022 hit, Romantic Homicide. The lyrics are incredibly violent. In the back of my mind, I killed you and I didn't even regret it. Now, he'd previously said those were figurative, like she died in his mind. But now, in this light, it takes on a really chilling tone, doesn't it?
It really does. But the timing issue, the part that feels truly damning, is that unreleased track.
Right, that leak. An unreleased song surfaced online back in December 2023. And remember, this is months before Celeste was officially reported missing in April 2024. In that leaked song, David allegedly sings about his love for a girl named Celeste. The lyrics mention, oh, Celeste, the girl with my name tattooed on her chest, and I'm obsessed. It suggests, well, a fixation, a relationship existing long before she vanished.
Wow, my name tattooed on her chest.
Yeah. And if you connect that to the wider digital trail, it strongly suggests an inappropriate relationship, given the age difference. There were rumors apparently swirling in places like Discord chat rooms throughout 2023 about David dating a teenager named Celeste. Then you have screenshots, even videos from January 2024, showing them interacting on a live stream. This is just before she went missing. All this information points towards David knowing Celeste when she was maybe as young as 11 or 12, a middle schooler. It really underscores the severity of the age gap and the whole context around her disappearance.
And that forensic detail you mentioned earlier about the dismemberment, how it usually points away from a random attack, that seems even more significant when you pair it with all this digital evidence showing they likely knew each other.
Exactly. It raises a really important forensic point. Retired detectives, experts in this field, they're pretty clear. Dispersing remains? It's done to make identification harder, to obstruct the investigation. It's almost never random. It's overwhelmingly used when the killer has a known relationship with the victim. They're desperate to stop the body being quickly ID'd and linked back to them. So this method strongly supports the idea of a relationship that someone was trying very hard to hide, which lines up perfectly with the secrecy hinted at in the leaked song and those Discord rumors.
Okay, so this investigation isn't just about lyrics and old chat logs. It's getting a huge technological, well, maybe assist, maybe complication, because of the car involved.
That's where we pivot to the tech angle. That Tesla. One retired FBI agent described it perfectly. A rolling supercomputer. And that's not an exaggeration. See, unlike a regular car or even your phone, a Tesla gathers just thousands and thousands of data points constantly. We're talking GPS location history, speed, acceleration, braking, and critically, internal and external camera footage from multiple angles.
So why is that data so much more valuable, maybe, or reliable than, say, just getting a cell phone records? Can't digital evidence be tampered with?
Well, that's a key point. In a homicide case, the chain of custody for personal devices, like a phone, can get messy, right? Did the suspect wipe it? Did they even have it with them? With a Tesla, the data storage is proprietary. It's on sophisticated, centralized hardware within the car itself. And the expert consensus seems to be, look, the owner would have to be an incredibly skilled hacker to wipe that critical data without leaving some kind of trace, a trace that itself gets recorded. So retrieving data from a car like this, it often bypasses some of the usual legal fights over getting access to a phone or computer. It provides this immutable, time-stamped record, exactly where the car was, maybe even who or what was inside it during that crucial time frame. The fact that the car was towed, that doesn't change any of the data collected before the tow.
Got it. Okay. And the sources say the singer is cooperating, but the police aren't just sitting back, are they?
No. Definitely not. They're building their case very methodically. They got a search warrant right away for the Hollywood Hills home David was renting on Donnie Place, which is, notably, near where the Cybertruck was abandoned. They seized a computer, other items. Standard procedure, really. We also heard this other detail. Down in Houston, David's home in Texas, security alarms were triggered twice recently, though apparently no warrant has been executed there yet. But all of these steps, they're about gathering every possible piece of evidence, physical and digital, to lock down that timeline.
And the timeline is just everything in a case like this, isn't it? We know the body tells a part of the story, but there's still more forensic info to come.
Correct. The body sets the scene, absolutely, but the toxicology reports are still pending. Given the decomposition, those can take weeks, but they're crucial. They can help determine the precise cause of death, maybe reveal if any substances were involved. That deferred status for cause of death, it just confirms foul play is suspected. Investigators need every little bit of chemical, physiological data to make sure their narrative, their case, is bulletproof before they think about filing charges.
Right, bulletproof. And the moment this news broke, the fallout for David Burke professionally was instant and huge.
It was incredibly swift and absolutely, he was right in the middle of a world tour, immediately canceled all the U.S. dates, postponed, I think, 9 European shows. His label, Intercope, they basically hit pause on everything. All promotions stopped, including a deluxe album release people were waiting for and the brand deals. evaporated almost instantly. Companies like Crocs, Hollister, they pulled all their marketing stuff featuring him. It just shows you, doesn't it, the gravity of the situation and also just the sheer speed of these kinds of PR crises today.
Yeah, no kidding. But, okay, despite this mountain of circumstantial evidence, the public reaction. David Burke hasn't actually been named a suspect. No criminal charges filed yet. Why wait? If they have the car, the digital trail, the body, why not arrest him?
This is where you really see the experience of a unit like LAPD Robbery Homicide Division, I think. They're incredibly skilled. They know the intense media spotlight on this case means they have to get it absolutely right. They know where David is. He paused his tour, so he's not really considered a flight risk right now. And the primary evidence, the body, is secured. So there isn't an immediate ongoing threat to public safety that would force a really hasty arrest. So what they're doing is prioritizing the certainty of a conviction over the speed of just making an arrest.
Makes sense to take the time to get it right.
Exactly. The expert consensus is pretty clear on this. They'll use this time. They'll fully retrieve and analyze every single byte of data from that Tesla. They'll synthesize it with the TOX reports when they come in. Combine all that with witness statements, the physical forensics of the dismemberment. They are building, as one source put it, that rock-solid, bulletproof case. One that will stand up under intense legal pressure rather than rushing out a charge that might just fall apart later.
So what does this all mean for you listening, and maybe for how these things work now? This deep dive shows this really shocking mix. You have the old school clues, the body's condition, the dismemberment, that physical tattoo, and then you have this massive, almost overwhelming wave of modern digital evidence pouring in from the Cybertruck, from social media, from those incredibly specific leaked song lyrics.
Yeah, it really highlights a new reality, doesn't it, in crime solving? The digital footprint doesn't just potentially document the crime itself. It often documents the entire relationship, the whole history leading up to it.
But ultimately, beneath all the headlines, the celebrity angle, the tech talk, we have to come back to the human cost. This whole investigation is about the life of Celeste Rivas Hernandez, a young girl. And her family is now grieving this unimaginable loss and apparently seeking funds just to be able to lay her body to rest. It's just tragic. And our sources brought up one last point, something really thought-provoking about how these investigations are changing. That retired FBI agent, he noted investigators are now just overloaded with data. Because every car, like this Tesla, every piece of tech we use, it's recording constantly, meticulously. So in an era where a car can basically tell authorities almost everything, does all that data truly make solving violent crimes faster? Or does the sheer complexity of sifting through it all, validating it legally, does that actually slow things down for the human investigators?
It's a really interesting question. That data overload could potentially make things harder in some ways.
It's a compelling balance, isn't it? Something we'll definitely keep watching as this digital age of crime solving continues to evolve.